The college football experience, UConn Huskies 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our very own Patreon. Yes, score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 prize up for grabs. Join today, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app to get last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. Use the promo code CFBX for $20 off. Once again, that's promo code CFBX for $20 off. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. We're also brought to you by DraftKings. Yes, kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use the promo code DGEN, D-E-G-E-N. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code DGEN. That's D-E-G-E-N.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. UConn Huskies 2023 season preview. Yes, it is a good time to be a UConn fan. You just win the national championship in basketball. And for your fifth national championship in 25 years. And also Jim Mora comes to your football program and takes you bowling in year one. Talk about as an independent where you have to schedule pretty much harder. And with your starting quarterback, Jacon Roberson, tearing his ACL or whatever injury it was that left him out for the year, occurred in the second quarter of the first game of the season. Phenomenal job, even though you went 6-7, lost the bowl game. But what a great first year for Jim Mora, in my opinion. And it's hopefully you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Because yes, this is the college football experience. We're breaking down the Huskies 2023 season. And I'm very optimistic about the future of UConn football. And look, you're probably wondering who the hell are you listening to? Well, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. I would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh, yeah. What a great first year. Jim Mora, friend of the program, Jim Mora. What am I talking about? Should I give us a little love? Should I give us a little Jim Mora love? Look, this is a program, whether it's Skip Holtz, whether it's Randy Edsel, especially the first time, there is a ton of potential here. And I'm eager to see what Jim Mora can do. Friend of the program. Jim's been on the show before. Great guy. And what a great first season. And really a good football coach. Thought he got a raw deal at UCLA in a way. You look at Jim's career. He played defensive back for, the Washington Huskies. And his father, obviously Jim Mora, who coached, I think most famously people know him from the Saints and the Colts. But I know him also from his USFL days, Philadelphia Stars, Baltimore Stars, and coached for a lot of great coaches and just a football guy. Playoffs, but no, Jim's had a very good career. You look at his history. I know he was a GA at Washington, then he went to work for the San Diego Chargers in the 80s, then his father with the Saints in the early 90s, and then he was with the San Francisco 49ers, I think, Steve Mariucci years. And then he became the head coach of the Falcons, took them to the NFC Championship. Then he was with the Seahawks for just 1 year. as the head coach. And then he went to UCLA. And you know, what's crazy is, you know, everyone's talking Chip Kelly, and he's doing a good job at UCLA, but Chip Kelly yet to have a 10-win season. He had one 9-win season, but guess what? Jim Mora had a 9-win season at UCLA, and he also had 2 10-win seasons. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Great first year, though, 6-7. I think he's a very good coach, and I'm excited to see what he can do here at UConn here. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about the offense, the defense, the special teams, what UConn did in the transfer portal, perhaps. You know, we got to grade that because the transfer portal is crazy in college football in 2023. Also, you know, we're going to go game by game on the schedule and try to foresee how UConn will look in 2023. Also, we'll have Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour, stop by to talk about his experiences to the wrench to get twisted. Yeah, to catch a UConn football game. We're going to talk all about that good stuff. And, but yeah, I think it's a fantastic hire. I thought it was a slam dunk hire a year ago, and I think this program's got a bright future. And I know there's speculation the Big 12 could come calling, and Yormark said, nah, maybe not right now, but maybe down the road. I think UConn's going to find it. People were questioning, saying they should stay in the Big East basketball. Look, I love them in the Big East basketball. I host a college basketball show. By the way, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience because we talk college hoops every single night of the season when the season starts. We already got off-season episodes out, preseason episodes coming right around the corner. But I love UConn in the Big East. But at the same time, it was a no-brainer for me to jump to the Big 12 if offered. And I still think if that offer comes, you got to take it. UConn is more like they are, sure, they're a basketball school, but football, I don't like the labels. Football is the driving force behind the ecosystem of college athletics. Duke basketball is phenomenal, but there's talk if the ACC and this grant of rights thing doesn't work out, they could be left out to join, I don't know, maybe the Big East. But I think there's room. UConn also has a good baseball program. Those three can make money. Baseball, okay, maybe just a tiny bit, right? But football and basketball, football can make a ton of money. And UConn's had a blueprint. I think people forget that it was not that long ago that UConn was having a lot of success in the Big East. They went to 4 straight bowls, you know, from 2007 to 2010. They went 9-4, 8-5, 8-5, 8-5, you know, played in the Fiesta Bowl. They beat Notre Dame. All right. I mean, they can do this. There's a blueprint for that. Northeast football, it's there for the taking, in my opinion. Boston College in Syracuse hasn't put a strong enough emphasis into football. And I think they're going to be forced to, or they're going to end up in the Conference USA eventually. But if you don't, like, this area produces talent, right? And when the NIL era now, where you can connect that to businesses, to me, it's a sleeping giant job. You know, whether UConn, anyone to emerge out of the Northeast, to me, is a no-brainer. But UConn specifically, with the access to, you know, they're the only school in the state that plays FBS football. They're close to New York City. There's a lot to sell about UConn, in my opinion. So you get an NIL collective going there, which I know they have, and their basketball success, fantastic. And their baseball program's good. So this is a no-brainer to me, whether that, you know, and if these elites cut off the rest of college football, which hopefully never happens, but I think UConn should be sitting in a nice place. I think they have a bright, bright future. And I watch out for what Jim Mora can do. I think it was a great hire, and I'm so excited to see the future. We're going to talk about the future, though. The future as in 2023. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the College Football Experience UConn Huskies 2023 season preview episode is brought to you by Game Time. Yes, look, buying tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be that stressful. It's happened to all of us, though, right? You figured, like, you know, I'll get the tickets at the game. Get the tickets, whatever it is. Could be going to see Star Wars or some shit. I don't know, right? But it's happened. You've been there where it didn't work out, right? Well, you're right. It shouldn't be that stressful. And Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you, with killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hype for the fun that you'll be having. Actually, a perfect Book of Mormon was one that I just thought I'd be able to get one at the window. Whew, that was a mistake. Fucking ended up having to pay a lot more when I went and checked that out. But perfect example there. So forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always have the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Gotta love that. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create that account, redeem that code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Yes, look, you've waited all year long, and the time has finally arrived. Oh, yeah. College football is back, baby, and so are the traditions, the tailgates, and the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they just bet, $5 on any college football bet. Yes. Look, I like the over on that USC San Jose State week 1 matchup. I know we got the rolling clock, the rule change. Don't worry about it. Take the over. I think it's 63.5 last I saw. So kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use that promo code DGEN. That's DEGEN. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code DGEN. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net in partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. All games regulated by West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem with gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire within 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.com. sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. And we're back. That's a read. That's a read right there. I can't read. All right. I'm like over here, Dumb and Dumber. Folks, let's talk a little bit about UConn football. Let's grade the portal. You have to grade the portal these days in college football because if you're not, it's such a huge tool or huge element of football. Okay, if you're the service academies, you don't really need to talk transfer portal. Clemson, strangely, Dabo Swinney doesn't believe in it, but players leave, so you still got to talk about it. Let's talk about what's happening at UConn. Departing the University of Connecticut, safety Derek Spearman, he heads out in the portal, hasn't landed anywhere yet, according to 24/7 Sports. They did lose cornerback Miles Bell to the Marshall Thundering Herd. They also lost wide receiver Nigel Fitzgerald to the portal. Wide receiver Aaron Turner went to the Cincinnati Bearcats and Scott Satterfield. Quarterback Tyler Fomachikon also hit the portal. Wide receiver Keelan Marlin. Keelan Marion. This is a big one here heading out to UConn. Heading from UConn to BYU. Wide receiver Ethan Williams also hit the portal. This one here, Nathan Carter, who's been such a stud running back for UConn over the years. He heads out to Michigan State, and Mel Tucker. So that is a tough loss there. Also, wide receiver Darius Bush heads to Georgia State, and Sean Elliott. And running back William Knight also hit the portal. Well, that was actually late last season, but yeah, that's what they lost. Incoming. So, I mean, they lost some. Carter, the wideout, decent hits. Well, let's talk about what Jim Mora was able to bring in here. And I think you should be optimistic because cornerback Mumu bin Wahad from West Virginia transfers in. Linebacker Eric Gilliard from the Kansas Jayhawks. Look, Eric Gilliard started for the Jayhawks. He also started for UCF previously. That's a nice get for this defense. Running back Jalen Mitchell from Louisville. I really like that get as well. Michigan tight end Luis Hansen. Look, Michigan keeps good tight ends. That's a gigantic get right there. Also got New Mexico wide receiver Jordan Porter going over from the Lobos. Washington Huskies, who were fresh off of what, a 10 or 11 win season. Cornerback Zachary Spears comes in. Nice get there. Delaware linebacker Noah Plack, who was a stud on the Blue Hens a year ago. He transfers in. And keep an eye on this one here. Maine quarterback Joe Fagnano. Now, the reason why I said keep an eye on that one is because offensive coordinator Nick Charlton, who enters year 2 at UConn, is the former head coach of Maine, where he coached and the OC of Maine. He coached Joe Fagnano, so getting a super experienced quarterback there. Richmond defensive tackle Ray Eldridge, also the Spiders, FCS playoff team a year ago, lost in Sacramento to Sacramento State in a classic. Washington State cornerback, and Washington State had a good defense. Jake Dickert, Armani Archie coming in to UConn, and TCU quarterback Alexander Honig coming in. TCU obviously went to the national championship a year ago. Illinois defensive lineman Rashawn Wilkins. Okay, Illinois got one of the best defensive lines in college football. So we love that get. And that is what they did in the portal. I would say, if it was up to me, I would say they certainly won the portal despite losing Nathan Carter, who we would say is a key loss. I would also say losing Marion hurt too. But overall, and maybe Aaron Turner as well. So I think they did a good job in the portal. I think they won the transfer portal. I thought they built depth, which is something that has been an issue for them. So let's talk about this team. On offense a year ago, well, they lost their starting quarterback in the second quarter of week 0. So their starting quarterback, former 4-star transfer, Taquan Roberson, who transferred in from Penn State. I think it was beginning like mid-second quarter. It looked like UConn was about to upset Utah State. And Roberson looked like tore his ACL, I think it was. And he's out for the year. And right then I was like, the under's going to cash on Jim Mora and UConn. But no, that is why this team really did a great job. And Jim Mora did a great job. So they rose to the occasion and made a bowl game. Fantastic. But yes, this offense a year ago, 116th in scoring offense, 33rd in rush offense, 126th in passing offense. That's what normally happens when you have a quarterback go down. 123rd in total offense. You got to get better there. No, that's a no-brainer. But I think there's opportunity. I think there's a lot of opportunity to get better. Let's talk about it for a second here because, well, first off, they return a ton. All right, and it's going to be fascinating to watch. Obviously, Roberson was able to redshirt last year, right? So he's still a sophomore. But I don't know that he's going to start. I think Fagnano, who comes in as a grad transfer, he's played a ton, 25 starts in his career, is going to be the guy. With Roberson, he might not even be fully healthy coming off an ACL, but maybe. So you got both those guys. You also have Zion Turner, who started some games and played well as a freshman for the Huskies. So the quarterback position, and then you bring in the TCU transfer. I feel like there's a lot of depth at the quarterback position all of a sudden now. The running back room, obviously Nathan Carter was very good. Had 100 and just shy of 200 yards against Utah State. But you know who was really good? Was Brian Brewton, and he's back. He played in 5 games a year ago. This guy is a stud, so I don't think that loss hurts as much. And then you add in Jalen Mitchell from Louisville. You still have Devontae Houston and Victor Rosa. I think the running back room is pretty solid right now. The receiving core. Now, this one, they took some hits. We're going to see how that works out for them. Justin Joly is an H-back who's back, and they'll get creative with getting him the ball. Kevens Clerics, I think is how you pronounce his name. The wide receiver spot, he's back. He started 8 games a season ago. But Cameron Ross is someone they're going to count on. Also, Jordan Porter, the New Mexico transfer. This is the area that I would circle as we've got to see development and obviously the passing game hurt last year. But I can tell you this, the tight end position, Nick Harris, he's back. This is a guy, and actually, Honig, I stand corrected. I think Honig is going to be playing tight end, the TCU transfer. So that will be interesting to watch. That'll be something to monitor. But they bring in the Michigan transfer. Let's be honest. I think that's the big one there at the tight end spot. So you got to think if the receiving unit can be a little bit better, but I don't even know if they were bad last year. Sometimes when you just have quarterback injuries, that can be a reason why, essentially they didn't play well. So look further deeper into that. We'll see if Fagnano can hit those guys. Offensive line returns 4 or 5 starters. You got to love that, including second team all AAC right guard Christian Haynes. So sign me up for that. They also bring in Valentin Sen from the Colorado Buffaloes, who started some games there. Kicker Joe McFadden, who was 15 or 12 of 17 a year ago. He is back. Also, No Rulis is back as well. So they got 2 capable kickers. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball where Jim Mora is the defense. Remember, the defense coordinator left like a week before the season. I don't know what it was, but so all of a sudden, Jim Mora took over and did a damn good job. 61st scoring defense, 92nd run defense, so you want to get better there. Pass defense, 42nd. Total defense, 69th in the nation. Considering what you walked into, I think that was remarkable what Mora was able to do. And get this, the entire defensive line is back. Yes, Eric Watts had a great season for them a year ago. 7 sacks. He is back. Delmonte Gordine at the nose guard spot. Same with Jelani Stafford. This kid was a former Youngstown State guy. And then Price Yates, who had 4.5 sacks, all back. The linebacking core is one you circle, I think, because Jackson Mitchell, who was first team all independent a year ago, he's back. But you're breaking in. There's some newcomers here. Tui Fomina Brown. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, Tui. But he's played in 22 games. He's penciled in to be the starter, but Noah Plack, the Delaware transfer, who was a stud at Delaware, also penciled in to be a starter. Keep an eye on Gilliard, too, the Kansas transfer. They got more depth now at this position. I think they're better despite them only returning 1 true starter from last year's team. Plack started at Delaware, and they're very good. So the secondary, you bring in the kid Bin Wahad from West Virginia. You also bring in Archie from Wazoo. Now, I think Archie's penciled in to be a backup, but Wahad, I think, is going to start for them. And then you return everyone else in the secondary. Malcolm Bell, Malik Dixon-Williams, Durante Jones, even Chris Sheeran. So I really like the defensive side of the ball here for Jim Mora. The punter, George Keratin, is back. And look, it's a pretty complete football team. The main thing is, will they be able to pass better? Can the receiving core be better? Which I don't know that they were that bad. It might have just been the injuries. And I think you should be optimistic if you're a UConn fan, because I think this team is headed in the right direction. Folks, we're going to go game by game on the schedule. And also we're going to talk to Michael Parker soon, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour. But before we get to all that, I want to tell you the College Football Experience is brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Yeah, sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL Win Totals contest with a $1,000 first place prize. Besides the season-long contest, we also have weekly contests just for the patrons, plus a monthly SGP Stories podcast, completely ad-free and full of behind-the-scenes stories from SGPN. There's even a Discord channel just for the patrons. Only you can prevent corporate gambling, so do your part and sign up today, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. All right, we are back on the College Football Experience, and oh yeah, I'm excited. And look, I mean, when you're telling me Mora was able to overachieve the way he did in year 1, and they're returning 17 starters off that team, I am optimistic. Let's talk about this schedule, because week 1, Thursday night, Brandon Armstrong's reunited with Robert and they're both now at NC State in Raleigh, North Carolina. I mean, I feel like this is a sneaky game. NC State has Notre Dame on deck, but I think I favor NC State. But I can't wait to watch that Thursday night game. The Thursday night could give us a great between this Florida, Utah, and Minnesota, Nebraska. Also, there's a couple really good FCS games. Campbell and William and Mary. They just a loaded college football night. So I'll say 0-1, but I would not be shocked if UConn won that game. Week 2, they head to Atlanta, Center Park Stadium, where Dale Murphy used to hit dingers. To take on Georgia State. Georgia State is an up and down team. When they're on, they're capable of beating anyone. Ask Tennessee a couple years ago. But I actually favor UConn to go into Atlanta and get this one done. Could they lose this? Sure. Georgia State's a quality team. I feel like, last year, I know that things didn't work out the way that Georgia State wanted to, but traditionally, I feel like they're a bowl team. So that's a dangerous game. I'll go 1-1 though. And then they host Mike McIntyre and FIU. Now, Mike McIntyre, I think, is an underrated coach, but they got rated in the portal. So I think UConn at the Wrench gets it done. And then they host the Duke Blue Devils and Mike Elko. Duke won 9 games a season ago. If anything, they were only 16 points away from being undefeated. I think you have to favor Duke, but it would not surprise me, especially getting NC State and Duke. Hey, ACC, how about instead of, I know there's talk for Stanford and Cal for some reason to come into the ACC, and perhaps they will. I know Condoleezza Rice is somehow involved in that shit, but and SMU's talking, and George W. Is talking, and why not go get UConn? It just doesn't make sense to me. They're already on the schedule. They play three ACC teams this year. I'll take Duke and put them at 2-2, but it would not shock me at all for 3-1 here. Then September 30th, Utah State comes to town. I had a chance to go to Mountain West Media Day, and that was fun. I got the chance to talk to Blake Anderson. I know they lost a lot in the portal, and I feel like this trip I got to favor UConn. So I'll put UConn there at 3-2 out of the month of September / August 31st. Then on October 7th, they head to Houston to take on the Rice Owls, who will be starting 35-year-old senior, I feel like, JT Daniels, former 5-star recruit from USC, Georgia, West Virginia, and now Rice. Welcome to college football 2023. I still favor UConn here. Do I think this is a losable game? 100%. But I still favor UConn here, and that means I have them sitting there at 4-2 at the bye week here. So let's go. The bye week, they come out of it. They're hosting South Florida. Alex Galesh, the brand new head coach of the Bulls. I do think this could be sneakier. And you look, and they'll probably lose one that I'm not seeing, but I still think if I had to pick here, I would take UConn to get this done. That would be what? That would be win 5 for the Huskies. Now they head to Boston College. Now they beat Boston College a year ago, but I think this is obviously in Chestnut Hill. The game could be a lot more interesting, and it starts 3 straight road games here. I will take them. I'll take this as a loss. So I feel like just they're due for a loss, even though I know they beat Boston College a year ago. Certainly capable of winning that game. So that still puts me at still 5 wins. The win total, by the way, if you're seeing it here, watching on YouTube, youtube.com/thecollegeexperience, it's sitting at 5. So can they get a 6 win as they head the very next week to Knoxville, Tennessee to take on Tennessee, the Vols? No, that should be a loss. And then 3rd straight away game, they headed to Harrisonburg, Virginia to take on JMU. This is a winnable game to me. Now, I'd have to favor JMU, but I think it's a winnable game. So let's say they lose all 3 road games. I like the remaining schedule. Home to Sacred Heart, and then they get, UMass. I think they're better than both those teams, even though Sacred Heart's supposed to be better this year. Subscribe to the FCS College Football Experience that I host. But no, I think this is let's say they even get bid at Rice. I still think you're good. You're good here. I think this is a 7-5 team. I think it's a 7-5 team. I'm on the over in the UConn Huskies. I think they're bowling again with a chance for an 8th win. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get this. This program the trajectory is in the right direction. I like the over here. I really think they have a shot. I really think it's much more likely. So I think you should go bet this one. This is not like one of the ones where I'm saying, I don't know. Go bet this. I feel like this is a pretty good bet. Folks, Before I get out of here, because I'm clearly on the over, I had a chance to sit down with Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour, to talk about his experiences to UConn. So with no further ado, here is that interview. Joining me on the College Football Experience UConn Huskies 2023 season preview episode is none other than Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour. Yes, on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. I like to call him the king of college football stadiums because Michael's been to every single FBS stadium. Yes, 133 different stadiums he's been to. And he's been to a lot of the FCS, a lot of D2, D3. He documents all of it on his Twitter account, and that's the only thing they talk about on the Twitter account. You won't see him talking about the new Indiana Jones movie. No, it's just all football stadiums. It's fantastic at CFB Campus Tour, and Michael goes to like 5, 6, 7 games a week. So just watching the travel via the Twitter account is fantastic. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show, talking a little UConn football and what are they calling this now? Rentschler Field, Whitney Stadium. I don't know, but how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. You know, we're not going to Indiana Jones movie. It's more likely going to be the 1992 Holiday Bowl on YouTube. So, and then I've been to UConn twice for games. So let's get into the rent.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I'm looking at some photos right now. I mean, the first photo that pops up on Google looks like a beautiful stadium. They got the sun setting behind it. Tell me about the history of this thing.
So it's fairly new. It opened in 2003. The downside is it's located in East Hartford, which is 25 miles from campus, which is in Stores. It was renamed. Original name was Rentschler Field, which is why they call it the Rent. In 2015, they named it Pratt Whitney Stadium, which is an aerospace manufacturer who donated land that is used for the parking lot. The record crowd they ever had at a game was 42,704 versus Michigan in 2013, and they almost knocked off Michigan 24-21 in the game.
I remember that game. I definitely remember. For a minute there, UConn had it going. I remember they beat Notre Dame. Seems like Jim Mora, friend of the program here. He's been on the show. So, I'm very pro UConn football right now. And look, there's there's rumblings of a Big 12 invite. That would be awesome. Maybe even an ACC invite, because I don't want them just in basketball. I want this football team to come up. As Patty C says, Northeast football, I want back on the map, and perhaps our best chance might be the UConn Huskies. How many times have you been here?
So I've been there twice, both for the rivalry game versus UMass. One was in 2018 and one was last year. The 2018 one was in the middle of a nor'easter, and it was wind sideways, rain sideways. I think it was me and the bands that were there. And, from a comfort level at a game, it was miserable. But from the football junkie, let's be in the elements view of it, it was spectacular. I loved it. And then last year, it was funny on Twitter, there was 2 Friday night games. It was Boston College and UConn. And I put a Twitter poll out there and I said, where do you want me to go? Because, same airport, same everything. And so fans voted for me to go to UConn over Boston College. We went there, and it was another matchup with UMass. They lost the 2018 one, but they won the 2022 one. So 2 games there, both versus UMass. You're talking about the Northeast football rivalry. These guys are old foes going back decades, and it was cool to watch them twice play at the Rent.
Yeah, and I see they're ending the season again this year. This is what we like, rivalry week, regional game. And they went out and got Don Brown. He's got some winning to do, but I think they made the right hire. He's back at UMass. Jim Mora resurrecting the UConn program. Sign me up for it, folks. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show, man. And, folks, give him a follow. You will not be disappointed. Once again, at CFB Campus Tour on Twitter. Thanks again for hopping on the show, Michael.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Colby.
Anytime, man. Take care. Getting twisted at the wrench. That's what I need to do. Shout out to longtime fan Dave. I know, and he's always invited me to go up there and tailgate, and I need to go see Coach, hang out, and support UConn football. Folks, I honestly think, get in on this now. This program's only heading up. Basketball program's winning national championships. The baseball program is doing damn good. So let's go. UConn's headed in the right fucking direction. Subscribe to the College Football Experience, folks. Give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Also, make sure you check out all of our podcasts. I host the College Basketball Experience every single night of the season. Even though I was reluctant to believe that Danny Hurley was going to make that type of run, I did eat shit on that. But what a great season from the UConn Huskies. And they have just a very promising future there, too. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience, the College Football Experience. Look, FCS college football. Yeah, Harvard, Yale, everything. You got the Rhode Island Rams playing good ball. Bryant, the Bulldogs. You get it at Merrimack is good. All right, check it all out. Holy Cross is fucking loaded. FCS College Football Experience. I host that as well. College Baseball Experience. UConn Baseball is good. All right, check it out. And also we have now the Big 12 experience. You never know. Maybe UConn will be in there. Who knows? Realignment's always batshit crazy. So check out all of those podcasts. Please, if you can, hop over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. We'd certainly appreciate it. And we come together. All those podcasts come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/The College Experience. Subscribe. Tell a friend. I can't wait for the season to start. UConn's going to be must watch each and every night, or each and every week, I should say. All right, folks, until next time, this is the College Football Experience, UConn Husky style. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.